Hello, everyone, and welcome back to D&D&D&D&D campaign number 2 of Black Ink and Blue Blood. When we last left off, the party continued their crossing of the Underdark Isle of Nublata, heading into the Aragos Republic with hopes of having a meeting, possible assassination attempt of its president, the latest in the line of Aragosian priestesses who has joined the Scar Concord. Separating from their guide to the region, but acquiring a less experienced one in her, but more politically gifted one in his place. The party has crossed the desert, the river, the plains, and is now well into the jungle, closing in rapidly on the outlying Argosian town of Hjarman. Got my campaigns mixed up there for a minute. To the outlying town of Hjarman.
Oh no!
In hopes of laying low, surveying the land, and figuring out what their next move is going to be. Before they can do that, the party has to survive the crossing of Death Nest Valley. The dragons have laid their eggs and are ready to guard them with the utmost ferocity and hostility. And according to Caro, if confronted, the best thing to do is run. With that, you guys
run, but you'll die tired.
With that, you guys begin your trek into the jungle. The trees loom over your head. You can see the occasional fruit dotting them, and Zephyr, you can see more of those strange, fat little flying dragons flying among the branches here and there, although they don't seem incredibly common, somewhat sparse and loosely organized. Jungle is quiet, and you all keep your ears pricked and your eyes peeled as you begin your crossing. As you guys start your crossing of the jungle, what would you like to do, if anything?
Where's Caleb?
Caleb, where are you at in the marching order?
Somewhere.
I'll say you're Zephyr. Are you towards the front?
Probably.
All right.
What was the last thing that we did?
Yelled at Gil for almost starting a fire, and then went into the jungle.
Also, they are very laggy in their voice.
Slightly, but we'll make it work. Okay, so Raccoon is with Gil. I'm just organizing. I'm organizing.
I can't understand what they're saying.
Yeah, that's gonna have to wait till later. Zephyr, I'm assuming towards the front of the group. What are you doing?
Which I can't do.
They need to clear up some bandwidth.
Or internet.
Yeah.
But they have much I can. It's just fucking.
Okay.
Fucking until something happens, or we make our.
Hello?
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I had to turn up my microphone. I guess I bumped it at some point.
No worries.
Okay.
Unless Caleb, you have a preference, I'll say you're towards the front with your brother. So Lucian, Caleb is towards the front of the group.
Lucian is going to, when she has a moment, kind of grab Caleb and whisper in his ear, I need to talk to you. Could you slow down for a minute?
Okay.
I'm gonna take away from Zephyr. Away from prying ears.
She's separating the brothers.
From the sound of it, Zephyr's not intending to slow his approach, so you absolutely can. Caro and Garo just weave past you, and you all see Gil with Raccoon on their back, and Neon and Morgan with Lady
Is Neon
Blackmont.
still pouting?
Most likely, although you can't see in Morgan to check.
Of course.
So as the group starts to go around, the two of you, as you pull a bit away from the group to be away from prying ears, Lucian.
I'm not very good at these kinds of things. But am I doing something wrong?
I'm sorry, what did they say?
They were asked if they were doing something wrong.
That could refer to many things. What way specifically?
Well, I more or less extended a olive branch to your brother, but he seemed indifferent. Is that just him, or am I like I don't know, like, should I be doing more? I'm trying to be nice here.
Well, indifference is Zephyr's resting state.
So nothing that I say or do will be good enough.
Well, Zephyr just doesn't. He doesn't get along with people. In case you haven't noticed, and I mentioned it. I think I mentioned it before. He's just not the kind of person to be friendly or kind or do things for others.
Is there a reason why?
He's also not the one to talk to others about these things.
Well, I figured that you would know the best because he's your brother. The thing I'm curious about is, is there a reason that he is this way?
Alright, Austin, would Zephyr have ever talked about a reason that he is this way?
I would say, I mean, as much as I would probably say not, at least not to you. I don't think he would roll, but I mean, if you would, I believe you were. If I remember correctly, you were the newest in the family, so
Yeah.
he knew you the last. So... He knew you the last of all. But, he still views you as family, but not just. Probably didn't like Aiden.
He never. You see, here's the thing. I was always more around Summer, and he was always more around our brother, I think. Yeah, he just wasn't around me. But the point is, no, he's never really said to me. If he said to anybody, he certainly hasn't said to me. Why he's like this. He just is. He's just Zephyr.
I just want to try to be nice, and I want us to try to be friends. Because I think that it would do the group a hell of a lot better if we could all just be on the same page.
I'm just going to say that it would probably be best if you are doing those things, don't have very high expectations of reciprocation. You're just going to be disappointed.
So you're saying because I'm willing to risk my ass for him, not to expect him to do the same?
Basically, only whatever you give, he's probably not going to give back. Probably good to keep that in mind. At least not for now. Maybe Maybe he's the kind of person that if he knows someone long
not-
enough, he might start being a bit nicer to them. But I wouldn't know. I wasn't around that long.
It's not very encouraging, Caleb. I mean, we've not gotten along since day one of knowing each other. I mean, even when I first met him, I was trying to be nice to him, but he pulled a knife on me.
Yeah, that sounds like Zephyr. I mean, Zephyr.
Just wanted to know
just,
if I was doing something wrong.
I don't think you are, Zephyr. It's just difficult. I mean, he was. The only reason why he probably wasn't difficult. The only thing I can seem to tell about him is he's a little bit better with someone that he actually considers family. But only a little bit. It's not like a dramatic difference. But there is a slight difference.
He seems more like a high-functioning sociopath more than anything.
Alright, hang on. Let me, should I roll intelligence to see if Caleb actually knows what that word means?
I'll say roll medicine.
Let me see. Where's my dice roller? I do have a dice roller on my phone. There we go. Does Austin or Matthew have Caleb's sheet?
I got it. Although, Austin, if you already have it pulled up, you can go ahead and check for me, but I'll pull it up just to have it on hand.
Alright, what's his... I think he gets a +1 to medicine?
Don't have any proficiency.
Yeah, +1.
16.
You've heard the word before. While psychologists and doctors where you come from are not exactly a thriving trade, you've heard enough of the lingo from your sister and a little bit from your brother, surprisingly. A few words getting thrown around that you would occasionally inquire as to the meaning of. And the one Lucian used is one that you have heard before, although you don't know the actual medical significance of it. From what your siblings have told you, it's something along the lines of someone who does not form emotional connections with other people and tends to view the world in a more pragmatic and straightforward way. While this is often painted as making people rather hostile, your sister was very clear that that's actually a common stereotype. Although it does tend to make people somewhat competitive.
Caleb just thinks from was like, yeah, that's Zephyr to a T.
I mean, he's manipulative and he's a liar and, he's just got a lot of the traits, and I guess I don't know if it's going to be impossible for us to be friends. I mean, my brother is a little bit of a sociopath himself, but he's more charming than, Zephyr.
I will say, technically, you don't have to be friends with someone you work with to work with them.
I have not thought of that.
You may just not be a real friend, but he could be a, co-worker of sorts.
An ally, as you will.
Yeah. After all, we are working together. some people you work together with, you like. Some people you work together with, you're not really friends with, but you can at least find a way to work together.
Do you think that he sees me as an ally?
I think if he didn't see us as well the closest thing he would consider to an ally, he wouldn't be here. So I think in his mind, an ally is someone that has value to him. Obviously, being with this group has value to him.
To be honest with you, Caleb, I think that he is here for a way different reasons than being allies.
At the very least, I think he feels like his goals align with the direction we're going.
I think that his goals just happen to align with the way we are going.
That may be true.
Whatever those goals may be, I'm just gonna have to start not caring, even though I care very much, because I'm worried that he is going to try to manipulate one of us or all of us into doing something where he could just ask. And, I'm 95% sure that we would do, something for him if he had asked. I mean, he has saved our ass. He just saved the raccoon. So, it's not difficult to ask. But like Gil, he's very strong-minded.
I'd say at least for now, he's probably more of an ally than, say, your brother is. After all, your brother does
It's
work.
not entirely true.
He works for the people who are going to have us locked up forever and then flown off to someplace to do God knows what to it.
Yes, but he has also done a lot of things for us.
All I remember him doing was being the one that made me go to that place. So far, all he's done is work for our antagonist.
I guess I'm just jittered. I guess
Caleb
in the
will
same way
remember
that
this.
you are jaded towards your brother. Or, bias. You're biased towards your brother. You stuck up for him, so why can I not stick up for my own brother? After all, everything that I know is not true. You were sitting there in that room when they told us everything that, happened to me. You saw the video.
Yes, but I will say that my
Maybe he's
brother
not what we think he is.
So far, my brother has not tried to have me locked up in a tin can and flown off to God knows where.
I know my brother. And the thing that I know is that he thinks that he is doing what is right. Just like I do. As a Levikirs are very, very stubborn and very strong-minded, I guess. And we always do what we have to. If it's right. Or what we think is right.
Nobody
Like
who
me
has
with
ever done,
Lorcan.
nobody who has ever done anything good or bad genuinely thought they were the bad guy.
No, if he really sees himself as a bad guy. I know that he is cocky and that he is very, like I said earlier, charming. But that does not mean that my guard is down, because I do love him very much. He is probably the first and only person I've loved for a very long time. But that doesn't mean that my heart is not ready for other loves. Like like Pietro. Well, you didn't get to meet Pietro. He's very sweet, and I love him. And you know, you and I are friends, right? So you know, I love you like a friend, and I love Carol and Raccoon, and Gil's kind of is getting there, I guess. And you know, I worry for Neon after you know what's happened with him, but that doesn't mean that I am still going to keep my guard down, because yes, he did lock us up in the silo, and he did do he's done things that probably I know for sure I do not approve of, and he's probably still doing things that I do not approve of, but he keeps telling me that I'm going to be happy, and that everything he's doing, he is doing for us. So
But
I don't know.
I'm just saying to keep in mind that oftentimes the villain you should be most afraid of is the one who says they are doing what is best and what is good, and is not the one who
Then
believes they are doing bad. Those are the ones that are
should
easy to spot.
you be afraid of me then? Well, should you be afraid of me then because of what I did with Lorcan? I thought I was doing something that was right. I still stand by what I did. And yes, I feel bad that it had to be specifically somebody who Raccoon was very, you know, attached to and loved, and I feel bad about that, but I do not feel bad for destroying a monster.
I guess you'll just have to see
I guess
what
that
the
makes
future
me a
holds.
sociopath too. Yeah. I guess I want us to succeed, Caleb, and being manipulated by your brother or even my brother may be the death of us.
I'm just saying to keep in mind what has happened up to now.
With that, as
we need to get out of here. Yeah, she was just gonna say, I think that we need to get out of here, meaning the forest.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Caleb will remember this.
Mm-hmm. All right. The two of you separate well into Deathnest Valley's surrounding jungles at this point. Zephyr, you continue to walk at the lead of the group, your brother catching up with you after a few minutes delay. Caro keeps pace in the middle, helping direct you all through the uncharted, dark, and frightening territory. Towards the back, Gil and Neon bringing up the rear with Lady Blackmont at the very, very back. What are the two of you up to, if anything?
Walking. Oh, God. Walking. That's it on my end.
Valid. Just point of clarification, are you in Morgan right now, or is Morgan just following behind you? Okay. And Gil, Raccoon on your back,
I
what are you
have
up to?
my great sword out, and I'm just keeping an eye out for things around us.
Make a perception check.
The flaming greatsword that might draw attention to us.
No, he got rid of
he
that.
sold that. Yeah, he sold that. This is a regular one.
Yeah.
And he would have to activate that anyway.
I wonder why he sold the fire sword in favor of a regular ass sword.
Well, no, he sold it so that he could get, I believe, the drone for Lucian.
Yeah, and 13.
All right, noted. You all continue your trek. The brush is thick. Zephyr, some of the plants that you're having to duck your way under are about as tall as you. Some even taller. As you all are well into the jungle trek at this point, it's hard to tell, but looking through the forest canopy, you can almost make out that the sun is about getting to late afternoon at this point. And Zephyr, you start to see some sunlight, reddened slightly by the afternoon lighting, through the thick jungle canopy. Although you would know from Lady Blackmont's guidance that this is likely not the end of the jungle, simply likely a clearing of some kind. And Caleb and Zephyr at the front, although the rest of you can join them at will, taking a very brief peek just to look, you see stretching out in front of you this massive clearing, sloped from the nearby mountain, like almost forming its own little horizon with dips and highs of the hills and valleys. And there is jungle surrounding it, so it doesn't look like you have to cross through here. And Zephyr and Caleb looking, you see dragons everywhere. Massive bipedal reptilian creatures. Caleb, you note with some amusement that a lot of them seem to have very tiny, almost vestigial arms. Some
Tiny
have
arms.
Yeah, tiny little arms. Some seem to have horns. Others have very vicious, sharp-looking teeth. Those that do not have those vestigial small arms instead have still somewhat stubby but powerful, muscular-looking ones, ending in sharp claws, crests and horns and spikes on every single one. And Zephyr, as you take a cautious look at their routes and patterns, you notice the bulk of them seem to be patrolling around small little dugout holes dug into the surrounding grassland. And the one closest to you, a large, somewhat crested dragon, is curled around a dugout hole that you can see is filled with eggs. And it looks around protectively at the other carnivorous creatures, although none of them appear to be actually antagonizing each other. You notice occasionally one will step out a bit away from their nest, only to be spooked off by another patrolling their stretch of land. But other than the occasional roared argument, you don't see any that are actively hurting each other. The bulk of them seem content to simply guard their nests and wait. And I'll say both of you are observant enough to pick up that a lot of them appear to be alone right now. You would expect a mother and father to both be looking over the eggs, and while you can't tell their genders apart at a glance, you can tell that they're largely, with some exceptions, appears to be one per nest, with their partner nowhere to be seen.
Caleb's gonna look to Zephyr. I feel like the ones we don't see are the ones we should be most afraid of.
Maybe right. The question is, how are we gonna do this?
Does it look like there's a path around the nest?
As I said, there is more jungle surrounding this clearing, so you'll have to take a very small detour. Although from the looks of it, it won't shave too long off of your route, so you could probably save time by crossing this clearing, but you'd be exposed. But there is absolutely a hidden in the jungle path you can take if you're willing to take a very small detour.
Can Caleb estimate how long that detour will cost us?
Make a survival check.
Let's see what this maneuver is going to cost us. Hold on, it has to load again.
It's all good.
What's my plus to survival?
+1.
Alright, that'll be a 17.
Okay. Staring at the surrounding jungle and doing some number crunching, you've gotten used to casing and studying your surroundings, much like your brother has, albeit for vastly different end goals. You estimate that the detour would likely add a few hours, but you know from what Lady Blackmont has told you that you're likely not getting out of this jungle by nightfall, although you suspect that the clearing may shave, because you're not having to trek through thick jungle brush, which would slow you down. Going through the clearing might get you out of the jungle before nightfall, just because of the time not having to cut through jungle brush would save you. And going the long way would be the longer route even without that problem. But of course, there's obvious obstacles to taking the straightforward approach.
Okay. Does it look like there's any, like, formations or, like, mountain things that look like they might have a cave that we could hide out in the night?
Make a perception check.
Matthew has the intrigued sound on, like he's like, I didn't think of that. What's my plus to perception?
Or
+7.
Alright, so that'll be 22.
Caleb, you doubt there would be caves magically appearing in the jungle of the valley. Although you have seen some sharply sloping hills, which some might contain caves, although you can't see any. You estimate if you and the group were to look around, you could probably find some. But looking across the clearing, there's a bit more jungle to get through, but at the base of one of the mountains, which you estimate, given the route you guys have been taking, you could reach within a few hours, you do actually see a cave high above the jungle canopy. You're not sure how the group would get up there, but there is definitely a wide cave mouth you can see even from this tree line of the clearing. You estimate with your earlier survival check, it would probably take about 2 hours to reach it. But if you can get to it and then get up there somehow, the cave certainly looks big enough to house all of you comfortably and be well out of the reach of predators.
Alright, Caleb is going to call a little team meeting.
Alright.
And relay this information he has determined.
Alright. All of you are gathered up in a huddle by Caleb, who passes along everything he saw.
How high is it from the ground?
Caleb, you estimate it to be about 50 feet up.
I could get us all up there.
How?
And then what about you?
And I know how to get up there. That's how y'all are going to get up there.
Carry us up there.
No, I'm going to tie a rope.
If we can.
So, Zephyr, I know you don't need any help. You could just walk up that hillside with those little shoes of yours.
But if there is no rope, no place to tie the rope in.
And I tie it to myself up there.
Okay. See how this goes.
I mean, you're not the problem with that deal is you're not a rock. Sure, you may be built like
I can't.
a rock,
I could
Sometimes
barely
as
understand
dumb
what they're
as
saying.
one, but not actually a rock.
Okay, now I
Hello?
get the gist.
Well, yeah, you cut out a little bit there,
Okay.
but I got the gist.
Yeah,
of
we
it.
got the bulk of it. You're fine.
Just, I can do it.
Well, you also said that when you were in the water with your little claws and then almost made you
This is
and
different.
Raccoon into human popcorn.
How big is
In what way?
How big
Just-
is Neon's mech again?
Like, are you? Well, what dimension are you talking about? Height, width, length?
Like its height or length.
Length is like 16 feet. I believe height is like 8 to 10, something like that.
Oh, not even close.
The mech would have to stay on the ground, but
I mean, like I thought it was way bigger. I thought like maybe in length it could like maybe reach that cave, but no.
I could get all of us living people up there.
Neon's like, how dare you suggest that Morrigan is not a living thing?
Well,
Morrigan is live in my heart.
if I'm not mistaken, though, weren't we supposed to get out of the forest first?
I would like to get out of the
But we already know
forest,
we're not
yes.
going to get out of the forest before nightfall.
Well, yes.
If we push ourselves. Okay, could the
No, like I'm
DM
fairly certain the lady
said-
said, even if we rush, we would not make it through. By
Yeah,
night.
it had already been afternoon by the time you guys reached it. So even like basically, as she had said, you would either have to rest and then just sprint through it in the morning and hope you don't run into anything, or what you're doing right now, which is taking it slowly and stealthily, but risking staying here through the night.
And she said we could get through it before the night's over. That she just didn't know of any safe places to rest.
Well, she mentioned.
But
She also
since we
mentioned.
found something,
She also mentioned, hey, we should not rest here.
Yeah, she did say that though.
If it comes down to it, we should just keep going.
She kind
Yeah,
of raises an eyebrow, but she also, and she gives you a nod and a smile, Caleb, did not know that there was a cave that high up in the mountains. The boy does make a fair point. I doubt any of the dragons in this area could reach it, and it'd be better than taking our chances running through the jungle while they're out hunting.
Are there any flying dragons? Don't dragons fly? What
There's
about the flying dragons?
There's plenty, but the ones that are predatory are halfway across the island.
I don't know if I'm willing to put my, trust in that, you know?
I'm not trying to push us in one way or the other. I'm more just amending my earlier advice and reminding you all that I can hear you.
Caleb is going to be like, look, if anyone, look, they would know better of what the dragons down here are like than any of us. And we already know that we're going to have to either run through the night or take a chance and rest in the night. I think it would all be better if it is possible to get into this safe place and rest. It'll be better than going all night and being exhausted trying to get around potentially dangerous creatures that are big enough that if they screw up once, oh, it takes us one snap at their jaws and that might be the end of us.
Also, Caro, welcome. To catch you up real briefly, the party has headed into the valley, and in terms of what Caro would have noticed, Caleb has called a group meeting as he and Zephyr scouted ahead and reported that ahead of you guys is a clearing full of carnivorous dragons at their nests. You can risk going through the clearing, take a detour that will slow you down to go through the jungle to maintain your stealth, or Caleb has spotted that there appears to be a cave high up in the mountains that you could reach within the next few hours that seems like it would provide shelter from most of the dragons in the valley, although the group seems uncertain how safe this cliff will actually be.
Okay. Hmm.
I can get rest. I have to wait for them.
It'd be a whole thing.
Pretty much. I can get through them, the forest technically. Rest of them.
Yeah, what's a lizard but a little dragon? I was saying, yeah, you could get through, because what is a lizard but a little dragon?
Exactly.
Just turn invisible.
I could turn invisible and sprint to the other side,
But they can still smell you.
Thing is, if they had such a strong sense, they probably would smelt us already. You're here.
But as Caro observed, they're not hunting for us, they're simply guarding their territory. For all we know, they already know we're here and just haven't deemed us intruders on their territory just yet.
Well, in that case, why don't we just try to get through quietly?
So that's one vote for sneak through, one vote for the cliff. Caro and Neon, how are the two of you feeling?
Don't
I'm
care.
gonna check something for Carol real quick. One second.
Yeah.
Rose taking a nap.
I vote for the cliff.
Okay, 2 votes cliff.
Mm, mm. So would this cliff be considered just a mountain in general?
Yes.
Cool. Then I can help us explore it with proficiency.
I can
Yeah.
be really good at exploring.
Yeah.
Valid.
Or at least going through it silently.
So is that a vote for the cliff then?
Yes.
Zephyr, any objections?
Man, he's kind of good either way. I mean, he can easily sneak through it, so it's not a huge problem. But get away from the dinosaurs. They do come after him, but the cliff is still nice to be able to. We're now tired. He's good either way.
Okay. Lucian, everyone seems either in favor of the cliff or just neutral on the matter. So if you're content with it, the group seems like they'll be charting a course that way.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Do not worry, I know cliffs well. Or
Well,
mountains.
I know them.
I'm more
hills.
worried about what is there.
If need be, I can scout and see.
So, as before, we won't be caught unaware going through here.
In where you are at right now, or
Like whenever we get there, yeah.
Okay.
Like,
Noted.
yeah.
All right, thanks for letting me know. Noted. So
Yeah, and we can move stealthily at a normal pace, so we don't actually have to go slowly.
okay, but that won't apply until you get to the cliff. But thank you for letting me know. I'll keep that in mind.
We'll have to get there first.
All right. With that, you guys ready yourselves and start diverting your course, heading westward, around Death Nest Valley, and making your way towards the western Devoid mountain range. Getting close to what Lucian and Caro you would remember from the map as the Knocking Mountains, which encompass Hjarmen on all sides. So making your way towards these mountains that connect the two mountain ranges. Caro, you kind of peek curiously through the tree line at what glimpses you can catch of these massive bipedal carnivorous dragons who, if they have noticed you, have not reacted yet to your presence.
I was reading.
Okay. Keeping your stealth rolls from last session, you guys slowly and quietly start working your way around the valley's clearing. Working your way ever closer to the closest mountain cliff face. Caleb, you kind of jolt slightly towards the front of the group as you can hear this gurgling call above you and see this one of those large fat flying dragons that Zephyr had seen coming in, and you all watch as it swoops to catch an insect flying over your heads and flies back into the canopy. Gil,
Food.
what's up?
Stealing Carol's food.
Yeah. Lucian, looking up at the branches, in addition to the dragons, you actually see several very colorful black and white birds with massive curved orange beaks, almost the size of their entire body. It's rather funny to look at, to be honest, as it cautiously snips fruit off of the branches above it.
Feeling my fruit.
Zephyr, your ears kind of flatten in irritation, and Neon's ears do the same as all of you hear this rattling sound throughout the jungle, almost akin to a massive rattling serpent. But Lucian, you can recognize this as a summer insect, although it is incredibly rare on the surface. So to hear it in such volume is rather off-putting.
Weird.
And Caro, you're the first one, being more familiar with natural environments than most of these people, to actually notice something. You're hearing things. You hadn't immediately paid any mind to it, but in this area that's purely populated by carnivores, it's odd to be hearing actual activity in the jungle. Whatever predator is here, these creatures on the trees seem to feel perfectly at ease and safe, not seeming particularly jittery any more than they reasonably should be, given all of your intrusion into their area. And none of them give you more than a passing glance and an occasional fluttering to a higher branch as you start cleaving your way closer to the mountain. Eventually, Caleb, you and Zephyr in the lead approach the cliff face you had seen. Several hours have passed, and the sky is a dark reddish yellow, and the sun is beginning to set. And Caleb, you kind of crane your neck up to look at the cave mouth high above you on the cliff. And Zephyr, kind of sparing a glance, you notice at the base, more at you guys' level, there are paintings. Little quick, like seeming like they were done in a hurry ones, of a massive, bigger than any you've seen so far, dragon, two-legged but with tiny arms and a long tail and a massive head, surrounded on all sides by what appear to be stick figure representations of the saurians, the lizard folk, surrounding it with spears, with its back to the cliff wall. And Caro, your large frog-like eyes not missing anything as you find yourself in slightly more comfortable territory now, the high cliff faces and mountaintops reminding you of your adventuring career past. You notice indentations in the cave mouth going up. These sort of 3x3, like deep, like holes formed into it, almost like some massive creature climbed the mountain, and these talon marks left in the rock are the only trace it left. But you all see the cave mouth open high above your heads. What would you all like to do?
So I can get up there and let down a rope.
Question. Do I see these indentations?
Caro, so all of you can see the indentations, though Caro's the only one who knows the markings well enough to know what they seem like they would be. So you just see like almost pock marks formed in the mountainside, although you don't think too much of it. Perhaps holes left here for climbers to get up there easier, perhaps simply natural formations that have an odd uniformity to them. But all of you see everything I had observed, but Caro exclusively notices that those pock marks appear like they would be massive claw marks dug into the mountainside.
These rock formations are very strange, don't you think, Carol?
Wow.
Subtle.
Sorry, the dog.
Well, I guess they're not rock formations at all.
Excuse me, what?
Claw marks.
Claw marks?
Yes. So do I know that they're likely from the creature in the cave painting?
Make me a nature check.
The T-Rex.
Yeah! Perishes immediately. 1 second. Oof. 13.
Okay. You aren't sure. This type of claw mark is similar to a lot of creatures you've encountered here. The creatures in the valley often seem to have a similar like arrangement to their body plan. Heck, even the baby Suchomimus following you, its talons look similar to that. So it really could be any carnivorous dragon you've seen down here, although it's certainly bigger than any one you've seen so far.
Okay. Yes, I don't know what it's from, but these are claw marks.
Well, here's the question, though. If these are the claw marks, where is the creature?
Can I tell how recent these are?
Make me a survival check.
Okay.
Actually, wait. Is this considered mountain, right?
Yes, it is.
Arrow do because it's mountain.
Let me see. Da-da-da.
or meaning last line. Last line.
Oh yeah, that is true. But I get, yeah, like, I'm not tracking it right now though, so I don't know.
That's true.
Wait, this is a nature check, right? Or wait,
Survival.
survival.
You're trying to identify the age of tracks. So.
Yeah. Ooh, a 19.
Okay. Looking over the claw marks, they appear like they're relatively old. You're not a geologist, but you estimate these have to be at least a year old, maybe longer. And you kind of perk up your ears, and again, you can hear wildlife in the jungle around you. And if there is something here, these creatures certainly don't seem to be afraid of it. If there is anything here, still here at all.
Okay, these claw marks don't seem to be new. They're like a year old. And if it was something that was a carnivore, which it probably is, but
means.
then these creatures would not be as loud.
Lucian just squints. I see. Well, you're the expert.
Time to go.
Yes,
So at this point, Gil is going to put Raccoon down. Then he's going to use his spider climb ability, and he's going to climb up the mountain.
Okay.
Hang on.
Spider climb ability.
Yeah, I'm guessing you're raging to get a
Yes.
climbing speed? Okay. So, Gil, giving a roar as you enter your dripping black ink form of a Knicker Beast, and Zephyr just casually walking up vertically. You both start climbing up to the cave mouth, and avoiding the clawed pockmarks that whatever dragon this was left behind. You make your way to the cave mouth, and sure enough, as you both find good footing and Gil, your rage begins to subside, looking over the canopy, well, it's just that. You can look over the canopy. In the distance, you can see the clearing still populated by massive bipedal dragons. And staring down, you can see your party far below you. Examining the cave itself, it looks like it goes deeper in, but ends at a dead end, about 60 feet into the mountain. It's a rather large and spacious cavern, but looking around, you don't immediately see anything living within. And what, Gil?
Was there any dry underbrush or anything like that in there?
Make a survival check. And while you're doing that, Zephyr, what are you doing?
Oh,
9.
Okay. Gil, you search around. Zephyr, you contemplate your next course of action. Gil, you don't find anything in the realm of dry underbrush. It appears to be mostly stone and the relatively high cavern ceiling above you and the eventual rounded end of the tunnel several feet ahead of you. Zephyr, what are you going to do?
Oh, okay.
trying to resist the urge to Just be mean boy. I guess I guess I'll just try to look for a spot to kind of sit down, you know, like you can do at this.
Okay. Gil, as you return from searching, Zephyr, you find a relatively good place for the group to sit. A few naturally, huh?
The group.
Do you want to just find a little hidey hole to be by yourself?
I mean, it's be less. He's looking for just. Well, he's not really. Again, he's just not looking for like particularly like, oh hey, this is like where we're all.
Yeah, well, like, yeah, just if you're looking for a comfy place to sit, this would be it anyway. So, you see several rocks and stones that are either naturally dented into the cave, or some appear to just be rocks that landed in a relatively comfortable position. It's all rocks, but you climb up onto a small boulder, and it's smooth and has a pleasantly cool texture that is a nice reprieve from the humidity of the jungle. So overall, it's about as comfortable as you're going to get in a cave. Gil, coming back from your search, that came up empty. What would you like to do? As you see, Zephyr seems to have found a good spot that, from the looks of it, would be a decent spot to set up camp. There's an open center for a campfire and several rocks and boulders that the group could use as seating. All right. What are those of you down at the base of the mountain doing?
Oh, I was going to say, after that, Gil's going to go to the edge, lean over just a little bit, and shout down, "Hey, Caleb,
Yes?
can you find some kindling and firewood?"
As he shouts this down, and Caleb, you kind of ponder what to do next. Lady Blackmont kind of glances to you, Caro. So I'm going to take a shot in the dark here. Was it arson that got him kicked out of the army?
Caro looks to her just, I don't know. I haven't known them since then.
I have a few guesses, but there's quite a story there.
So Caleb, are you gonna follow Gil's request, or?
Caleb will look around the immediate area he's standing in and see if there's anything that fits that description.
Make a survival check.
Right, he's in. Right, there it is. Bam, 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 bam. I get +1 to survival?
Yes.
10.
Okay. Looking around, the jungle's plant life is rather moist with the humidity, and the trees are certainly made of wood, but you don't exactly have a lumberjacking gear on hand. So the pieces are there, but you're not quite sure how you would fit them to Gil's vision.
I guess Caleb will just grab some leaves and sticks or something.
Sure. All right.
And hope that they will do what he wants them to do.
All right, sounds good. Neon, what are you up to?
Just sitting there at the base of the mountain in Morrigan, just kind of doing.
Okay.
Same thing has been going on for the past, I don't know, a week.
Yeah, just couldn't hurt to check. All right.
Actually, I would like to go over and talk to Neon for a minute.
Go for it. All right, so as Caleb's gathering things and Lady Blackmont and Caro chit-chat about Gil's potentially sordid history, Lucian, you approach the grieving mech pilot. What would you like to do?
I guess by now I should probably not ask how you're doing. But have you thought about what I talked to you about?
I'm gonna need a quick refresher. It's like
Yeah,
me
they were
and
cutting out
you-
bad.
No, it's not that. It's just it's been a while, and I've had a lot of stuff that I've been doing. Can you refresh me on what you said, or?
She was
Pretty
basically
much just be
like,
able to talk to her if you need to.
Ah, okay. I remember now.
Or
I remember now.
anyone.
not just that, but like she's killed people too, even though she's like a healer,
Yeah.
and she understands what you're going through, and that you're not alone.
Yeah. Okay. You hear from inside the mech. Not at all.
I have been thinking a lot about you. And here's the thing. Here's the thing, Neon. Did you know that when you do CPR, it's only 5% chance that the other person will live?
Actually, you know what? Realistically, he would probably know that. So, I did.
Did you know that no matter what the percentage is, I would still try?
Sure.
What I'm trying to say here is, I understand that you are mentally going through some real shit, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't try. Emotionally distancing yourself is not going to help anything except for making you feel more like shit. I have been doing a lot of bad things for myself too. And I don't know what more I can say to you to help you. I can't heal what is happening to you, and it is very upsetting for me because I want you to be able to be your old self again, you know, taking shots at me or Gil or, you know, whoever strikes your fancy, you know, being the Neon that we met back down in Edek. But I have a feeling you're not going to be that way anymore, are you?
There's just silence from the cockpit.
You could try to be silent and not talk. You could try to not talk about it for as long as you don't want to talk about it. But eventually you are going to have to talk about it. Because if you don't, it's going to fester inside of you. And trust me, you don't want that.
You have no idea what you're talking about. Go away.
I do, but as you wish. She'll just sigh and turn away. See what nonsense Gil is up to.
All right.
Hashtag lowering a rope.
Okay. By this point, Lucian, as you step away, you all see, as Caleb, you return with your bundle of sticks and plant life that you sort of miscellaneously gathered at Gil's behest, as the elf himself, lowers a length of rope down the cliff face. And Gil, what are you tying it off to?
I'm just gonna pull them up. I'm holding on to the other end.
All right. Remember, for you two, one mic at a time.
Sorry, it's just I'm in a different spot. It's a little difficult.
Neon, as had been suggested earlier, it does look like you will have to leave Morrigan down here in the jungle for the time being. But again, to save us time, does anyone specifically not want to take the rope?
I'm going to stay in Morrigan
Okay.
and just wait there at the base of the cliff.
How tall is the cliff?
About 50 feet up.
Okay. Waiting on whether one show off or not.
Show off.
Ooh, can a frog jump that high?
No, but she can jump like half its height. Just grab on the rope.
Do you want to?
Do it.
Sure.
Gil, you're forced to kind of like quickly adjust your grip and like almost drop the rope entirely as Caro leaps with a small croak, grabbing the baby Suchomimus under one arm as they leap about halfway up the cliff and cling to the length of rope and start working their way up from there. And one by one,
Leaping behind. Well, I guess they're with Neon, but
yeah, Garo will most likely be unable to.
Yeah, I mean, I'll come back down. I'll leave I'll force the Suchomimus not to come after me and tie him to the end because we're gonna have to pull him up.
Okay.
Before I leave down there, I will take out Chime, and I will turn on Chime, and I will tell Chime that it is in charge of keeping an eye out for danger and to alarm us if it sees anything.
Carry a small offended croak. She already can do that. I'm kidding.
The drone goes a little and floats into the air and immediately begins its patrol as it had back in the caverns. And one by one, the rest of you begin to climb, or in Garo's case, be tied to the length of rope. The rope itself, even with Gil's assistance, it like just barely hovers above the ground, and some of you have to like jump a bit to get a firm enough grip on the rope to start climbing. But
all of us have to pull Garo up because he's like 400 pounds.
Yeah, not to mention the nightmare of tying him to it where Gil can still grab and pull the rope at all.
Mm-hmm.
It takes some doing, but are able to get everyone, sans Neon and Morgan, up into the cave. Caleb, you kind of unceremoniously deposit the leaf litter, plant matter, and sticks into the center of a large circular gathering of boulders.
Yeah,
where
he just gathers it all up and just drops it in a pile in there. It's like, so that make fire?
Garo just kind of blankly stares at him.
as you all begin to make the preparations for camp, what are all of you doing?
I'm trying to start a fire.
All right, make me a survival check at disadvantage.
Because it's kind of just assorted leaf.
It's a bunch of
litter.
wet plants and like sticks. So probably the worst kindling you could possibly have.
You get the feeling that Caleb is not much of a survivalist.
The mouth of the cave, right?
5.
It's close to it. It's just a little bit of a ways in.
Yeah.
All right, Gil, you start attempting to light a fire, and unfortunately, the sparks do not take. Again, the plants are too wet and the sticks too small and frail to make
Right.
proper kindling.
Could I improvise and use some of my torches instead?
You could. You light a torch and simply lay it down in place of a
And then I want to
campfire.
lay the kindling, like the branches that he brought. I want to lay those on top so they can dry out from the fire, and then start to burn.
Okay, but I will say this is 100% going to cost you the torch, so
Yes.
deduct 1 torch from your inventory.
Okay.
All right, so Gil manages to get a fire going. What are the rest of you doing, if anything, while setting up camp?
Did Neon never come up?
No, Neon it appears intent on staying down at the base of the cliff with their mech.
Kara's gonna go down there.
I'll say if you do you have rope on you?
Let me see. I should, but let me check.
Did lose a lot.
Well, yeah, but everyone's been keeping track of that, so
You could borrow Gil's rope since it's still out.
I was just like checking like if Kara would have to or not, just so you guys know what the characters are doing.
I don't seem to have a rope.
Oh, Kara, do you want to borrow Gil's?
Whoop. Yeah, sure.
Caro, you borrow Gil's rope, and using Garrow as an improvised climb your way down before leaping with frog-like grace with a small plop into the jungle tree line below you. And Morrigan looms over your head as you stand back up. What would you like to do?
She knocks on Morgan a little.
What?
You should come up. We have a fire going.
No.
Why?
I'd like to be right here.
Why?
My business.
What did you say?
So that's my business.
Well, it's my business too.
Go away.
No.
Then don't, I guess.
Come on. At least come up. Because we're gonna start moving after.
I'll stay right here.
Don't.
Yeah. Counter argument. Oh.
You know what? You make a persuasive argument.
You can put Morgan in the thing, your glove.
Too far from the city. Doesn't work anymore.
Oh. How heavy is Morgan?
Leon just doesn't even bother answering that.
Well, you can't stay here forever.
quite certain that I can.
Maybe we could hide Morgan if you're worried about the animals.
No.
Why?
People just not leave me alone.
Well, no, I'm not gonna leave you alone.
I mean for the night.
Hmm. No.
Like, somebody's just like, excuse me, could you, like, vacate the room? Like, I kind of need to get this sleep. Just, no.
No
Plop
thanks.
down right in the middle of their bed.
We're
Mama.
sleeping together now.
God. I guess Neon just doesn't even bother responding at this point.
Kara's gonna go get a blanket and then come back down and curl up on top of Morgan.
Neon, you hear a slightly wet thunk as Carol jumps and lands on top of your mech and begins to make themselves comfortable in the area of the cockpit above where your head would be.
And just why are you doing that?
Because you shouldn't be alone.
I'm not alone. I have Morrigan, I'm fine.
I mean, you
My
shouldn't have.
heart.
What?
This is so cute.
And I know you think of Morgan like a friend, but I mean, like, you shouldn't be without the friend.
Whatever. And I guess that's that.
All right.
What a productive conversation.
Garrow, Caleb, Garrow kind of shaking their head in irritation a bit, approaches you and like rubs the part of their torso where Caro was forced to tie to get down on their own, and kind of like rubs against your hand for you to untie them.
No. Caleb will untie them. How did Carol get down?
Used.
Basically tied the rope to Garrow and then just climbed down that way. But that meant nobody could untie Garrow.
you just hide.
Just mean.
A rope down there.
Oh, you can just, while you're untying it, grab it.
Yeah, like the rope's up in the cave with you guys.
No, I'm not saying. I know that I'm saying that the rope's no longer like hanging down. So that...
Oh yeah. So, Garrow's not going to stand there all day, or all night, more accurately. All right. Is there anything anyone would like to do of note throughout the night? I'm assuming the usual watches will apply.
Yeah. On my watch, I want to do something though. So when it comes back around my turn, I'll do what I want to do.
Okay. All right. One by one, you all begin to nod off for the night. The sleep is uneasy. The distant carnivores roar. Neon and Caro, the two of you have no visual on it, so it's even more unsettling being surrounded by dark forest canopy and the distant roars of the dragons. But Caro, you feel confident that you will not be ambushed. You will likely hear. Those of you up in the cave can look out over the canopy and see the partners of the various dragons at their nests returning with swaths of hunted meat caught in their mouths. You can see other draconic legs dangling from their teeth as they gently, almost cautiously and reverently deposit the captured food at the outline of their mate's nest. The mates gratefully chewing on the offered food. You can hear the distant roars as
Do I see the baby
you do not.
Oh.
And you hear the distant dragons roar as they stake their claims on their territories once more. If nobody has anything else, you all begin to... Oh, Zephyr?
I mean, it's basically just during the long rest, so probably.
Well, yeah, but speak now or forever hold your peace.
Yeah.
No shame in being specific. What do you want to do?
Still two.
Okay. Easy enough to do. As you get ready for bed, start attuning to your amulet. And Lucian, I'm assuming you're going to want to wait for total privacy before you go down?
Yeah, before I do my thing, yes.
Okay. So, Lucian, you kind of watch cautiously as the rest of the party begins to drift off. Neon, you slip into a fitful, uneasy sleep within Morgan. Caro, you sleep relatively comfortably on Morgan's humidly wet backside.
Whoa, that's the best thing.
Everyone slowly curls into sleep, somewhat cold and uncomfortable sleep, the roars echoing throughout the cave. As Zephyr finishes attuning to his amulet and unceremoniously rolls himself up in his bedroll and goes down for sleep. Lucian, as first watch begins, what would you like to do?
Okay. I've been meaning to do this, and I guess it just kind of dawned on Lucian that she should have done this a while back ago, but she is going to send a message to Queen Sundragon.
Years pass and we don't talk.
New phone, who dis?
Your phone, who knows?
Okay, so, I'm going to say this is in common, so, because I don't know what she speaks.
Okay.
I know it's been a while. We have hit a bump. We had to go to Argos for a mission. Not sure when we can come. That's my message.
Okay.
She said bomb, by the way. When she said bump.
There is a long, pregnant pause. You're honestly not sure how long it is. It's not as long as the pauses your brother takes before responding to these messages, but not as instantaneous as someone who's intimately familiar with the magic. But after a moment, you do hear Queen Sundragon's response. Oh, hey, it's been a while. Almost forgot what you sounded like. How you doing? And that's the end of her response.
I just died.
And Lucian had a heart attack and died.
Okay. Fuck it. Fuck it. I'm gonna send her a message. Fuck it. I just hit fuck it. I'm gonna send her another message.
Go for it.
Fuck. What am I doing with my life? Okay. That question is harder to answer than you might think. But we are safe.
For now.
And yeah, we are safe. And I was hoping you were safe too. I had like 4 or 5 more words. No. This mission is important. Sadly.
This response comes much quicker. Her voice casual and demure as it ever is. Well, glad you're doing okay. We're doing fine over here. That airship piloting fuck's not gonna get the best of us. You guys take your time. We got him.
For the first time, Lucian just has like the biggest smile on her face. She's just like, that is like the coolest fucking queen I've ever met. Let's see. I got one more. Is she gonna burn it on her? I don't know. She wants to. She wants to, but she's not sure what to say.
Talk to your girlfriend.
Should I? Fuck.
It's your spell slot.
Take that long rest is back. I mean, you gotta call.
I mean, like, what else is there to say?
I actually... Fuck my life, Lucian. I'm gonna send a message to Lucifer.
Okay.
Are you making me do this, Lucian?
What would you like to say?
Oh, God. Now let me kind of think premeditatively what I want to think. Say, I am not sure exactly how to ask this question. You talk to someone you like. Because I really don't know how. And that's my message.
Oh my.
Lucian goes to ask her brother for dating advice.
This is the kind of shit that Caleb was talking about.
This is why I said, Lucian, fuck me. God.
There was a long pause.
I don't think he was expecting to be getting a message like this at any point in time.
But after almost an uninterrupted minute of silence, you do hear a response from him. Well, little sister, you always remember what Dad used to say. Speak up or shut up. And the message cuts off.
You could tell he
He's
had to
gonna
think
say
for a while and just like,
out loud to the sky, motherfucker, I'm the oldest by 3 minutes and you know it! She's gonna sit there and pout because she can't reply. Ow! She's just gonna be muttering her little sister. No, I'm the oldest.
All right.
And she'll just do that for her whole entire her
Wait,
entire
everyone else
watch. Just
over.
stew. Just stew.
Beyond your outrage at the audacity of your twin sibling to indicate that you are the youngest, your watch passes with little incident.
He will be hearing from me later.
You
Gil?
will be hearing from my lawyer.
Gil, your watch also passes relatively quietly. You can hear the distant calls.
When I wake up, Gil.
Oh, go ahead.
when I wake up, Gil, she's just gonna be like, get up. She's just gonna like pass it off as being cranky. I'm really tired. You need to get up so I can go to sleep.
Okay. Have a good night, little one.
Daggers, just daggers. Like, she's just like, do not start with me.
Or he could use that on anyone, because you are all shorter than him.
Yeah, but she's just like, don't.
Touchy, okay. Get your beauty rest.
One mic at a time.
I don't need rest to be beautiful. And then she will go to bed.
Yeah, sorry. I'm in a different location, so it picks up my voice too.
Okay. Gil, your watch passes also with very minimal incident. Lucian, would you mind making me a Constitution saving throw?
Not for me, the raccoon.
Yeah, I do mind, but I'll do it anyway.
so yeah, he says, if you don't mind, like you have a choice.
Kill it.
Yeah, that is an option.
17?
Okay. Noted.
That raccoon was breakfast.
Gil, your watch passes without incident, and you kind of scan the distant nests to hoping to the small creature that you heard being hunted the night before. But from the looks of things, they don't exactly seem intent on saving their food, so it's likely the poor thing was already devoured the night before. But the night is quiet. Caro, you're slightly awoken several times. Chime making a slightly small, not panicked, but just kind of like alerting beeping. And you kind of glance down and see some of the small pigeon-sized dragons like curiously approaching to investigate the legs of Morrigan. But as soon as they see you looking at them, they scurry off back into the brush. And you have to do this about 3 times throughout the night, which is annoying, but between you and Chime, the dragons do not seem, these little ones do not seem interested in investigating Morgan while it is under surveillance.
Well, joke's on them. If they bite me, they're in for a nasty surprise.
Yeah, unfortunately, this island does not know what a poison dart. All right.
They're lucky for it, honestly.
Valid. All of you get a long rest. As the sun begins to rise, the cave is immediately filled with bright, intense sunlight. And looking around, the distant clearing of carnivores still has those designated to sit the eggs. You see the bulk of them as you all start waking up and gathering your things. Caro and Neon, you are excluded from this, but all of you in the cave, kind of taking a quick glance at the clearing, see that the bulk of the carnivores are actually there, sleeping at their nests. It appears, as Caro had indicated, they appear to be largely nocturnal, only doing routine territorial inspections throughout the later afternoon and then hunting at night. Looking around, it appears this early in the morning, almost all of them are at their nests, sleeping and getting actual rest before doing their patrols and hunts again.
Who wants eggs for breakfast?
Do not joke about that.
It was funny.
It really wasn't. How am I feeling, DM? Other than annoyed at my brother.
Yeah, you're actually feeling pretty good. It's slight, but Gil, you notice looking at Lucian as the group is getting ready to move. Lucian appears to be getting some healthier weight back to them. Appear to actually be taking in their food properly. And on that note, I will say, as per the norm, a day of water and a day of rations from each of you, unless Lucian will be providing magical rations again.
Oh.
I can if everybody needs me to.
While I'm seeing that she's looking better, he's also totally checking her out.
Noted. All right, so day of water, day of rations from everyone. As you all deconstruct the camp and get ready to get moving. Gil, I'm assuming you're going to help everyone down the same way you would help them up to begin with?
Yep.
All right. Zephyr, you casually, once you are ready to go, does anyone have any last business in this cave before you continue your march across the valley?
Gil wants to take out one of his daggers, and he wants to make a little cave drawing, a rude one, but still a drawing of their little camp at the entrance next to the cave.
Okay. Noted. You make as the group's getting ready, you make a little sketch to entertain yourself, kind of throughout your watch, as there's only one entrance to monitor, and as the group's waking up, just do a little cave carving doodle of the camp and the group. With that, if nobody has any further business, Zephyr, you casually, vertically make your way down the cliff face, and Gil, you allow everyone to get ahead of you and expend a rage to climb your way down, and tying up and depositing your rope. Caro and Neon, other than the slight disruptions from the Compsognathus, you appear to still be in one piece. And Lucian, as you are let down by Gil, Chime approaches you with a and curls up into a ball to land in your arms, draining all of their fuel to make it through the night.
And give it a little pat.
Caleb is going to look to the lady that's with us now and be like, do you think we'll be able to make it out before nightfall now?
She gives a very relieved-looking smile, and easily. We're already about halfway across, and most of the dragons during the early morning. By the time they're out patrolling, we should be well out of the jungle and into the humming highlands. And the humming highlands, thankfully, if we stay off of the game trails, are safe.
Game trails?
It's something I picked up from the hunters here. Basically, it's where prey animals tend to flock in large numbers, so predators start searching for food there because that's where the food always is. So if we stay away from those large gatherings, then the predators will avoid us in turn.
Sounds like a good idea.
I still suggest we be careful.
It's definitely not protectable.
Sorry to disappoint. But, yes, I still suggest we keep our heads down and try not to rush it. But things appear to be looking, and she kind of holds her arm up to shield her eyes as she looks up at the early morning sun. Looking bright, if you'll pardon my pun.
Very well. Let's get moving.
All right.
Before we get moving, Gil wants to go over to Morgan.
All right. Caro, as you're gathering...
The pestering neon train is back.
Caro, as you're up off of Neon, and Neon, you yourself are just waking up and getting ready for another day of walking. You see Gil approaching your mech, tying the rope around their arm and shoving it roughly into their pack as they approach.
Neon's like, oh god, here we go again.
Oh shite, here we go again.
Do I hear him say that?
I'm gonna go with no, considering it was under their breath and
yeah, I was gonna say yeah, like you muttered it, but like I want to hear you.
Oh shite, here we go again.
Well, as I get outside the mech, I'm not here to pester you about your feelings or anything. I had a favor I wanted to ask you about. If you got a few minutes.
Depends on what it is.
You're better with this tech than me. Is there any chance you can repair my gauntlets?
Didn't he already do this?
Neon confirmed that they could, although the fuel being burnt out is not really a solvable situation right now. But Neon didn't actually do it. They just confirmed they could.
And they didn't tell Gil that.
I think it was loose.
Yeah, so
this is Gil coming to him.
Oh, right, yeah. So yeah, regardless, no.
As I told the mage, I could theoretically fix it, but it's out of fuel, so it wouldn't be worth it.
I have more.
You have more fuel?
Yes.
Fine.
I will fish the gauntlets and to the power cells out of my bag and wait for Neon to open the mech so I can give them to him.
All right. Neon, you receive the highly damaged plasma gauntlets. Do you want to attempt to repair them while you're on the move, or wait till you get to town and do it there?
While we're on the move, considering I'm basically just sitting there for the most part.
Okay. Make me a Tinkerer's Tools check. I'll say flat roll.
All right. Fuck. What is Tinker Tools again? I can't.
Are you proficient in those?
Yes, I am.
Intelligence plus proficiency.
Okay, intelligence. I'll say +6. That would be a 12.
All right, noted. So, does anyone else have anything while you're getting ready to move or are on the move?
Nope.
Okay. Unless... Do you actually have something, Zephyr? Okay.
I can wait till later.
Okay. So, in that case, you all begin your march through the remainder of Death Nest Valley. I would like everyone to please roll me stealth checks. Neon, make yours at disadvantage.
First roll. Not good. Better.
$10.
Okay.
And I'm pissed off because the second one was a fucking nat 20.
Sorry, bub. Big ass mech ain't gonna be stealthy, not to mention when you're also occupied with something else while you're driving.
I will literally never forgive you for this.
Noted.
Sorry.
Biggest thing.
All right.
23.
Okay, 23. Zephyr?
18.
Okay. Caleb? Kara?
Let me see. Sorry. Well, I don't even need to roll a disadvantage on this one. Yeah. Well, damn these clanky.
the
Clanky flappers.
All right. Gil?
24.
All right. One last check for Caleb.
What?
Stealth check.
Stealth check.
Oh, we're doing a stealth check.
Yeah, you're going through the jungle, bud.
I think I might be dozing off. Where's the dice? Oh, and I get advantage on stealth.
Yeah, you have the elven boots.
And I get a +9 to stealth, so... First roll is going to be 24, and the second roll is 19, so 24.
All right, noted. You guys
Sorry
begin.
about that. I think I might have started dozing off.
It's all good. You guys begin. You, as Lady Blackmont suggested, keep your heads down and try to stay quiet. To the front, you, as always, are coordinated, stealthy, and quiet. And elves, you manage to keep your heads down, although you occasionally have to fight and fumble your way through thick underbrush. Raccoon taking to your shoulder again, Gil, as similar to Zephyr, a lot of the underbrush is about as high as they are, so it's very easy for them to get lost and separated in those conditions. But towards the back of the group, Garo is yowling excessively. Their ears flatten to their head as you can hear several high-pitched sparking sounds from Morgan's cockpit as Neon attempts to also making active repairs to a complicated piece of weaponry. And from the sounds of the repair seem very irritating to the large feline.
Carol, I'm sorry. Are you okay?
Garo kind of their ears still flat to their head as you hear another sparking sound, something that almost sounds akin to well from Morgan's cockpit. You all, towards the front of the group, kind of wince nervously and look around. Caro in particular, keeping your eyes peeled, worried about something hearing all the noise and sneaking up on you. Especially as you can see several small dragons and those large tropical birds taking off into the air as Morgan passes beneath them with their cacophony of machinery and Garo's irritated yowling towards the pack. But thankfully, nothing seems to be taking an interest in your sounds. Although it is very unsettling being like by a beacon of noise as you're sneaking through predator-filled jungle. Whether the noise is scaring them off or... What's up?
I said, and that's when the T-Rex shows up.
Quite possibly. Whether it's them being scared off by the noise or not being active and taking an interest in it, you're not sure. But you all thank your various gods as you start to see the end of the tree line ahead of you. You all step out of the tree line, seeming finally clear of the Death Nest Valley, about mid-afternoon at this point, a little towards late. Stretching ahead of you all, you see the humming highlands. You see this stretch of up, down, up, down. The same sort of layout as you remember Clapjaw Desert having, but it has this very bumpy quality to it that the smooth sands of the desert did not have. You see what a lot of you are actually able to recognize as tree roots growing throughout the hills and dips, creating this sort of like rough, very uncomfortable looking terrain, almost more tree root interlocking than untainted grassland, although you do see several lichens and grasses growing between and on top of the various tree roots.
At least we didn't have to take the truck through this.
You see several large, almost fat-looking trees stretching above the highlands, bringing some sense of shade. And the trees are massive, so you can't imagine at a glance what could possibly feed from them. This stretch of uninterrupted highland, up, down, up, down. Actually recognize this as territory you can fairly efficiently cross. This will count as mountainous terrain for your various features. You see this stretch of land, and Caleb, you almost smile as you see, rather than the dangerous-looking carnivorous dragons or the somewhat intimidating quadrupedal herbivorous dragons that definitely could put up a fight if they needed to, you see this massive flock of colorful bipedal dragons running in this massive herd, stampeding across the highlands, jumping over tree roots, between trees. This colorful, like flocking almost like birds. The mountains shade this central valley as the highlands appear to go up and up and up. Although because of the constant elevation, you actually can see at the very top of the hills what appears to be Hjarman. It's distant, still a couple days away at least, but you're almost there. And from the looks of things, the only thing between you and the town is these flocks of running bipedal dragons that seem interested purely in running about in their flock. Lady Blackmont takes to the front of the group and gestures with a smile up to the distant town, not at the mountain top, but like well up the highlands and about built at the edge of where peaks meet the dipping and rising highlands. This territory is a bit hard to cross, but it shouldn't be dangerous. Just make sure your feet don't get stuck in the roots. And we're on the home stretch now. It should be a 4-day trip, maybe faster, if any of you are familiar with crossing territory like this.
I am.
She gives you a smile, Caro. And Kara, I will ask you, DM to player, because I know this is something Rangers can get. I just don't know if you have it. Do you have the feature that actually does allow you to pass through difficult terrain as if it were normal terrain? Okay.
Yeah, for mountains, yes, I do.
So, yes, Caro, you do some quick mental math looking up the mountains and over the hills and flocking dragons. And by your estimate, what would be a 4-day trip for most, you think you can actually guide the party into making it a 2-day trip.
Carol puffs out her chest in a proud of herself style. I can cut down our trip by half.
Impressive. But I suppose I'll believe it when I see it. And she gives you a good-natured smile and looks to the rest of you. You all ready to keep moving? From the sounds of it, we'll be at Hjarman before you all know it. And don't worry about water. There's a well in town you all can restock at.
Yeah, I was crawling into town like mummies.
I'm dehydrated. Well, well, if there's no further concern. Ooh, stormy. All right. Caro, you take the lead as the group begins their crossing of the humming highlands. And indeed, Caro, as you take over as scout, able to get around this area faster than either of the rogues can, you guide the party to the smooth patches of ground, likely the paths used by caravans, so the tree roots are kept relatively trimmed and curbed. You start making your way, guiding the party to smooth, easier to cross hills and dips. While the hills and valleys do slow you down, you are not stopped completely. And Caleb, you briefly get your foot stuck in some roots, but Caro is able to quickly pull you out without harm to you. And every so often, Lucian, you'll almost trip on a tree root you didn't see, but Caro will catch you and keep you moving steadily. And as you all watch, it's almost like Caro is completely transformed. In a comfortable territory, they guide you all smoothly, walking you around grazing dragons and through the smoothest, most easy to walk paths. And indeed, you are making fantastic time. By the time the sun is setting, what Lady Blackmont estimates would have been a 4-day trip for most, you seem like you're already halfway up. While there are still many hills and valleys to get through, the town of Hjarman is ever closer. And as you do this first day of crossing, you can quickly understand why they call this the Humming Highlands. Caleb, you see that flock of bipedal dragons begin to flock a bit closer. Although they don't seem hostile, more just coincidentally going in your direction. And as they flock nearer to the group and stampede past all of you, it creates this almost ambient vibration the closer they get to you. This sort of omnipresent whispering sound of their clawed feet stamping into the roots and grass. And indeed, this auditory effect, almost like the ground itself hums the closer they get to you. This ambient before they cross into your vision and begin to flock whatever direction they feel like going.
I got a question.
Go for it.
So at this point, are we getting close to making? Or are we ready? Sorry, I know I cut out. Are we about ready to make camp? Or
yeah, the sun is setting, so the group will still need to make camp soon. Although Caro seems to have kept their word and shaved off an entire day of your trip.
So when these bipedal, bright feathered creatures go by, Gil's gonna pull out his bow, and he wants to shoot one for dinner.
All right, make me an attack roll.
I'm gonna try to stop him.
Gil, make me an attack roll with disadvantage.
Oh, that's fair. Can I forage as well?
Absolutely. And I believe with your feature, you'll get double the food you would ordinarily get.
Yes, because I realized I need to get food for the small insect as well.
Okay.
Some roots or something. I don't know what they eat.
Yeah. And just so I know, are you willing to hunt the dragons, or are you going to look for other sources of food?
Well, for Garrow, I'm gonna need some meat, so I'll have to hunt them.
Okay, noted.
There's Garrow's.
All right, and Gil, your attack roll is at disadvantage. What'd you roll?
11, because the Lucian's got to interfere.
All right. As Gil, you look up to see the sun about to set, and Caro appears to be scoping out a potential place to set up camp for the night. You pull out your bow, and as the flock of bipedal, colorful tropical dragons begins to flock closer to the group, you knock an arrow and begin to pull back. Lucian, you see with a glance that Gil's getting ready to shoot these dragons, and quickly push his arm up, and the arrow flies off and whizzes far over the heads of the dragons and lands a fair distance away lost in the roots and valleys of the highland.
What the hell?
Are you crazy?
Food.
I can't make food out of nothing. I think you can survive maybe 2 more days without
Where
meat.
was the harm?
You don't know what kind of animals those are.
Garrow has to eat too. They're not going to eat just berries and stuff.
Just kind of groans.
You can't stop me from doing stuff just because you don't agree with it. You're not always right. Most of the time, but not always.
I'm gonna go pout.
All right. Caro, make me a survival check. I'll give you, I believe you have advantage because you're in one of your favorite terrains, so.
treacherous. What is there? Come back, please. There you go. Ooh, that's not a nat 20. It's a dirty 20.
Okay.
Good, because I would have gotten a really low roll if it didn't have advantage.
All right. Gil, with one of your arrows lost, you help the rest set up camp as Caro wanders a bit of a ways from the group into the night as the sun begins to set. Although none of you worry too much, as while the terrain is rough and has a lot of blind spots, there does not appear to be any obvious predators. Caro, you are the exception. You creep, hiding amongst the roots in the shadows of the trees, and start creeping your way towards the sleeping flock of bipedal, feathered, colorfully tropical dragons. You load your crossbow, take careful aim, and you begin to hunt. By the time the flock is so startled that they begin running off to hide and get away, to down 4 Gallimimus. And getting close to the ones you fell, they are rather impressive. Easily, one of these could sustain, you estimate 4 of your party mates. And with 4 killed in total, you have more than enough for the party to cook and eat tonight. And with Garrow's help, you begin to drag these dragons back to camp. For the rest,
Caro, before they get there, just kind of like softly touches them on the head and just like basically just thank you for your sacrifice.
Okay. You thank the animals and begin to drag them back to camp. The rest of you at camp itself, by the time you have a fire going and are settling in for the night, you see Caro pulling alongside Garrow the massive bodies of the bipedal dragons, 4 in total. And the frog and tiger deposit them at the edge of the campfire for you all to dig into if you wish. You can either take a day's of rations or cook and eat the Gallimimus Caro caught, which means you will not expend rations.
I was gonna say Gil's gonna take out his knife and start getting to work on the on all 4, getting them ready for everyone.
Make me a survival check at disadvantage because you do not know the makeup of these creatures.
And while he's doing this, he's gonna be shooting Lucian dirty looks of, oh, she can do it, but I can't.
But Lucian's not going to be looking at this display, I'm sure.
Oh no, she is not looking. She is looking the other way. Crisscross applesauce.
I do not.
Enjoying an apple or something.
Either way, he's still giving her that glare. But you said survival at disadvantage?
Yep.
Did I get any like plants or anything gathered up?
Were you looking for plants?
Sort of, yeah. Just any like juicy looking leaves or whatever.
Okay. And real quick, Gil, what did you roll?
Ooh, hurts.
7.
Noted.
The other one was a nat 20.
That's all.
Ouch.
Okay.
2 nat 20s dead in the water.
Caro, while you're out hunting the Gallimimus, you spot that the very tall trees here appear to have large purple berries that you are not super familiar with. Although I'll say, like, yeah, with what you rolled, you actually identify them as likely being a relative to the lotus plant that grows where you come from. It appears to be very similar, although given that the animals around here behave perfectly normally and you have not heard the usual whispers associated with the plant, you assume these are likely safe to eat. Cautious experimental bite proves. So I'll say you get 8 fig berries in addition to the 4 Delamimus. And as so you have 8 fig berries and 4 Gallimimus bodies. Although as you're sorting out what you caught through the night, you glance and see Gil attempting to skin one of the dinosaurs, but skinning is putting it a little generously, as Gil seems more intent on vivisecting it. Yes, I will say you are able to stop him, although a good chunk of that dragon's meat is likely ruined.
Oh, well, Garrow can rip into it. He's good at that. He doesn't mind if it's perfectly cooked.
Okay. So, all of you have meat for the night. And Caro, do you want to offer the berries to Lucian, or have Lucian use their own rations?
So I'm gonna take a berry and give it to my spider creature. It's probably dying for some fucking food right now. Poor baby. So sorry.
Absolutely. Okay. You feed your various animals, your spider.
And I will give some of the berries to Lucian.
All right. Lucian, Caro approaches you with several berries and offers them to you.
Oh, thank you. You didn't have to do that.
Well, I know you like berries, and I was going to pick some anyways. So, here you go. Don't worry, I tested them. They're okay.
And take a experimental sniff. Do they seem okay?
Make me a nature check.
I can do that, I think.
Oh.
Said nature?
Yeah, nature check.
$19?
You give an experimental sniff. It has a somewhat sweet aroma to it, and looking it over, you notice that there's a hole in it that is leaking a very, very sweet smelling syrup. You imagine this is likely when Caro likely had to shoot it out of the tree to be able to reach it. But overall, it smells sweet, and from what Caro says, they tasted it themselves and did not find anything off about it. You don't see anything.
All right, I will eat.
All right. You dig into the berries Caro offers you. I'll say you'll likely have to consume. Caro, do you intend to save these berries for anyone but Lucian? Because Lucian would likely have to eat all of them to get a full.
No, I just wanted to take one to get to my spider, which I assume would only need one.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Okay. Lucian, you blow through 7 of these berries, and they're very sweet. It's almost like cookies. They don't strike you as particularly filling as you blow through the bulk of them without you feel like you've certainly eaten. It's better than nothing, but you're not certain you got much in the way of nutrition out of it. But again, it's better than nothing. With that, the spider is taken care of, and Caro, you offer the remains of your catch to the rest of the party, and your Garo, your Suchomimus, and your spider, and one by one, as usual.
I have something very bad I want to do. Lucian will probably kill me for this.
Go ahead.
With the one bird that I the one bird that I tried to skin and gut.
Before you go any further, I will remind you what happened to your last character that had a tendency for praying. Just quietly reminding you before you continue.
I know it wasn't going to end well, but she really annoyed him, and he wants to get it back
by traumatizing her.
He was just going to throw the heart or like the liver at her.
Just a heart or a liver.
Are you sure?
No.
All right then.
He's got it in his hand. He's bouncing it back and forth. He's highly considering it, but then he's going to look at Blackmont and like, and he'll toss it to the baby lizard thing.
Yeah, the Suchomimus, which happily begins to devour it. All right.
Carol bound up to Lady Blackmont, just puff out her chest and just I told you I was good.
I didn't doubt you for a second, young lady. I found, at least, this is what my father always taught me. It's good to give people a challenge. It's motivating, if nothing else. She gives you a smile and pats you on the back. Excellent job. With your guidance, we'll be out of the highlands in no time, and I'm sure your friends are more than eager to have proper beds to sleep in.
Gives a wide smile.
All right. If there's nothing else.
So on my watch.
All right. All right.
Yes.
As you guys bunk down for camp, Lucian, what messages would you like to send tonight?
She holds a grudge. I don't know. Okay. Just so you know, this is to Lucifer, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I am the oldest. By 3
All
minutes.
day later.
I couldn't message you before because I was out of energy. But I am oldest. That's her message.
You wait. Several minutes go by. No response.
She's just kind of like, ha ha ha.
Satisfied
Like,
with
fine,
her victory.
don't answer. She'll just sit there with her own assumption to what she thinks is a victory. Is going to she's gonna send a message to this to Sun Dragon. Okay, let me think about what I'm gonna say.
Lucian's got a crash. Okay. Lucian's got a crash.
You are totally like the best. And I am out of, you're way out of, my league. But if like she's trying to say like you're better, she's better than Lucian. I meant she's out of her league. You
All right. Lucian casts their usual sendings for the night, attempting to find victory in their argument with their sibling, and several attempts at flirtatiousness with the Sun Dragon Queen. But other than the tropical bipedal dragons slowly calming down from Caro's hunting, her watch passes without incident. And Gil, you hear some distant roars and squawks, likely from the stragglers of the flock being picked off by the carnivores of the valley. But you wager that you appear to be far off their trail, as you do not see any approach the camp, nor do any does anything beyond the small littlest dragons attempt to even approach the camp on your watch. Overall, the highlands, especially at night, are peaceful.
Sorry, my word just hit the crap out. What happened?
Oh, I was just describing the watches while you were away. Basically, nothing happens on you or Gil's watch. The highlands are pretty quiet outside of Gallimimus being picked off by the closer to the tree line.
But no responses to her messages.
Well, I couldn't respond when she wasn't here.
There we go. I'm back. Sorry, I know that you like me to do push to talk, but Discord does not like me doing push to talk.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's just one of those, like, either you guys got to be in separate rooms or one of you's got to do it. But yeah, so what would you like your message to Queen Sun Dragon to say?
I was hoping that maybe we could have tea. You are better than me, so if you don't want to have tea, I will understand. And that's her message.
There's a long, quiet pause.
Instant regret.
Eventually, you get a short, somewhat enigmatic response. A lot more hesitant and thoughtful than you've heard Queen Sun Dragon ever before. Make it back in one piece and we'll talk about it.
Just kind of like... Okay. But I didn't get a response from Lucifer?
No.
Okay.
The queen fancies you.
Possibly, maybe, I don't know. And there's one more person I want to message, but I'm not sure who. I was thinking about Pietro, because she misses Pietro. Yeah, I'll message Pietro.
Okay.
She
What would you
misses
like to
her
say?
friends. For the people that she thinks is her friend. Hey, Pi. I miss you. We are on this big adventure, and you would have so much fun. I am not having much fun, but you would have fun. I hope you're okay. And that's the message.
Okay. There's a pause, and you eventually hear back. I'm just glad that you and the others are okay. Tell everyone that I said hello, and I hope you guys make it back soon. Stay safe.
My baby.
And Lucian dies again.
My baby. Okay. Yeah. I'm just gonna sit and think about what Sun Dragon said and just think, a lot of that.
All right. As I said, the majority of the night passes without incident, other than the hunting of the carnivorous dragons of the valley, preying on those unlucky bipedal ones that strayed too close to the tree line. Beyond that, though, the highlands do not hum at night, and both of your watches pass without incident. And as the sun begins to rise, and estimatedly, Caro, if they are as good of a navigator as they claim, should be able to get you to the town of Hjarmen by tomorrow night. And you can finally stop walking, rest your aching feet and bodies, and with any luck, begin to scope out the socio-political situation of the Republic and decide, maybe, just maybe, as a team, on your next course of action. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
You okay?
But
Okay.
we could get clean.
Yeah. Lucian wants a bath so bad.
All right. Before we get into the our usual behind the scenes stuff, I totally have the intro pulled up. No, absolutely. Did not accidentally close it and forget about it. No, sirree. Be sure to check out our website at officiald5hub.info. Check the link that's about to be posted in chat for our official D5 Discord server if you want to hang out with us directly, and support our episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you happen to get the podcast from. And check out Odd Tornado Productions Official on Tumblr to find links to our other works, including our thankfully very good at organizing stream tech rogues Twitch channel at twitch.tv/AustinFreak123. Without him, this stream would literally not be feasible. So, round of applause for the tech guy. These are underappreciated. Thanks everyone at home so much for watching. Thanks all of you so much for playing, and we'll see you all next week.